Today I'll show you how I made these rooftop hatches for tabletop games. So most of our materials today are going to be using scraps. These are some 1-inch wide craft stick pieces, a couple of leftover craft popsicle sticks, some matches, a couple of coffee stirrer sticks, and that's about it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first one I'm going to make is a kind of raised and angled piece. Now, I'm going to cut this remnant piece here to be just under 1 inch by 1 inch, and then I'm going to cut a identical piece. Both of these are going to be used in the same hatch. Now for the popsicle stick here, I'm going to cut it to a 1-inch length and then cut it in half diagonally to make a pair of small triangles. Now, if your triangles break apart like mine did, just kind of quickly glue them back together, and once it's dried and the glue is set, we can go ahead and attach our triangles to one of the two little square pieces that we created. And then using another remnant piece, I'm going to cut another roughly 1-inch section and glue it to the back. And that will give us a little kind of triangular little wedge right here. Once that's done, we're going to attach some matchsticks all around the base of our wedge. And this is mostly just to kind of create the illusion that this is a piece that has been kind of reinforced and attached to a structure. So kind of think of this as the timber framing that attaches it to a building. Now, I'm taking a little bit of time to clean up some of the glue, but in reality, if there's any glue coming out the bottom, you don't really need to worry about it all that much. You would want to remove any excess that comes out of the top, though, just to kind of keep things looking a little neat and tidy. Now, I chose to put a piece along the back here. If you intend to put this up against like the wall of a building or something like that, you don't have to do this, but I wanted this to be able to be used in a couple of different areas, so kind of wanted it to be a little bit more universal. Now here I'm just kind of shaving down one of the sides to kind of round it out a little bit, and the reason I'm doing that is so that I can cut it in half, and then the two rounded sides are going to be facing towards each other, and these are going to be little pull-open hatchways. Now, to simulate a set of hinges, I'm going to take these little round tube beads and hot glue them into place along the edges of our hatch and on top of the triangular side pieces that we attached earlier. Now, I went a little overboard with the glue on this one. You can definitely do super glue instead of hot glue. That'll make it a little bit more neat and tidy and a little less wasteful. Alright, so while that is set off to the side, let's go ahead and make our second hatch. I took 4 coffee stirrer sticks and I trimmed these to be 7/8 of an inch in length. Completely arbitrary, you can make them any length that you want as long as you have a rough square. So I am gluing these all together, and then I took a small little scrap piece and I'm going to glue them across what side you're going to pick to be the top. Do a little bit of cleanup of the hot glue off of the surface that's going to be visible during gameplay. And then just a quick little trim to make sure everything stays relatively even with all of the pieces. Alright, so once we've got that, we can start building the framework around the sides of the hatch. And we're going to do that with a few more matchsticks. So as I'm gluing this together, you can kind of see what it looks like, and it's just going to be a simple square hatch that's going to sit pretty flush on the roof of a building. But I wanted it to be a little bit unique and a little bit more eye-catching, so that's why I put the extra remnant piece on the bottom of one side of the hatch. So that creates the illusion of a little bit of depth to the whole piece. Rather than just all of it being sunken down, I wanted it to appear as though one edge was raised up, like that's the side where the hinges are going to go, and everything kind of recesses down into the building. And again, creating a couple of little hinges with some hot glue and these little round tube beads that I found. I got these from the dollar store. Clean up the extra hot glue, make sure everything is in place, and here we go. Alright, so once we've got those done, we can go ahead and get painting. So I primed both of these in some Krylon flat brown spray paint, and now we're going to use some raw sienna and just do a simple little medium heavy dry brush, just to bring out a little bit of the wood tones and some of the wood grain that's part of the coffee sticks and the craft sticks. Alright, and once that's dry, I do a very light dry brush of some warm gray from Master's Touch, just to give it that nice weathered appearance. Alright, so once all the paint is dry, we can go ahead and add in our little handles or pull tabs or whatever you want to use to represent a little handle for the door or the hatch. Now I'm going to use a couple of these seed beads. All I did was dip it into a little bit of tacky glue and then drop it into position. And here you can see how I did it with the double door for the raised hatch. So I'm going to set these off to the side to dry, and once they are dry, I can take a little bit of some Artist Loft silver and touch up all of the beads to kind of give it the appearance of a metallic hinge and metallic knobs or handles for the hatchways. Now you can use anything for the handles. I decided to use these just for expediency, and I couldn't find my little jump rings that I usually use for handles, so I'll have to find those later. Alright, and just like that, this episode is finished. Alright, so here you can see I've put one in the top of one of the towers that I built in an earlier episode. This one's nice and flat, so I'll still be able to put some models in the top here. Here's an idea I had for making like the hatch to a basement using one of the raised ones just at the base of a building. And you can also attach it to the rooftop to create a nice little decorative access point. So thank you everyone for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe for future content, comment in the comments section, and we will see everyone next episode.